Welcome to our Dark Characters Explanation series. The first character we are discussing in this video is our famous Jonas. Are you ready? Jonas is the son of Hannah and Michael Carnwald. The series begins with a tragedy when Jonas' father Michael decided to commit suicide. Jonas struggled because of that and left to stay in a psychiatric ward for several months. Few days after Jonas returned to Winden, he went with Martha, Magnus, Bartus, Franziska and Mikkel to the caves where Mikkel Nelson disappeared without a trace. After that, Jonas received a letter from his father in a package with no sender. The letter said that his father Michael Carnwald is the disappeared child Mikkel Nielsen. He somehow traveled through time to 1986 in the caves and started a new life. He also found a map for the cave in the package that allowed him to find the passage to 1986 where he found Mikkel Nielsen. While Jonas was going to bring him back, a stranger warned him that Mikkel must grow up as Michael Carnwald in order to become Jonas's father. Before Jonas sent to the psychiatric ward, he started dating Martha, but after his return he found that Martha is in relationship with his best friend Bartus. Their relationship rekindled after Jonas' return, but when he discovered that Martha is actually his aunt, he decided not to tell her and just stay silent. During another trip to 1986, Jonas was kidnapped by Noah and Helga Doppler and locked in the bunker. He was able to speak to his older self through the door. Moments later, some rift in time opens and Jonas saw Helga Doppler as a boy in 1953 through it, and when their hands touched, Jonas traveled to 2052. After that, Jonas traveled back to 1921, where he meets the young Noah who takes him to Adam. Then, Adam shows Jonas an identical scar to this Jonas has on his neck, and guess what? Adam is Jonas 60 years later. At Adam's suggestion, Jonas traveled through the time portal in Sigmunda's headquarters to the 20th of June 2019, the day of Michael Carnwald's suicide. He wanted to prevent his father from suicide, but his father said that he never had suicidal thoughts. Then old Claudia Tiedemann joins them and explains that some things can't be undone. She leaves the house with Jonas, who is terrified to know that he was the one to mention suicide to his father. Jonas spent a year learning everything he can about time traveling from Claudia. He then traveled to 1987 to meet the younger Claudia. Together they entered the cave and used the time machine to reactivate the passage that his older self closed 6 months prior. Then they traveled to 2020. Jonas went to his house to save Martha, who knows that he is her nephew now, but also they have kissed. Interesting, right? Suddenly, Adam appears and shoots Martha. Then Adam reassures him that one day he will understand why is this necessary. As the course of all things is not unchangeable, quantum entanglement can create parallel realities. Now concentrate. In one reality, Jonas traveled with another Martha to Eva's world in the aftermath of Martha's death. In another reality, he survived the apocalypse in the basement of his house, and in the third reality Adam bring Jonas to another world. In Eva's world, Jonas discovered that he has landed in an alternate version of Winden where Mikkel never traveled through time, so Jonas doesn't exist in this world. He eventually meets Eva to discover that she is Martha, more than 60 years older. He then convinced Martha from Eva's world to travel with him to 2052. Older Martha told them that they will be able to stop the apocalypse if they prevented the yellow barrels in the nuclear power planet from being opened. The teens returned back from the future and slept together. While entering the power planet, Martha got injured in her face. Jonas realized that the scar on her face is the same that Martha, who brought him to Eva's world, had.
He stopped everything and now he is not sure who to trust. He went back to the Eretlux to confront Eva. She told him that he already fulfilled his purpose in this world, and another young version of Martha enters the room and shoots Jonas. In the second reality, where Jonas survived the apocalypse hiding in the house basement, he joins forces with Claudia in her efforts to stabilize the time travel portal in the nuclear power plant. In 2052 the portal is finally back up and Jonas can travel through time again. He traveled several times to his younger self to give him information about time traveling. In 2020, adult Jonas travels to his mother Hannah and reveal his identity to her, and take her to 1987. Few days later, she took his time machine and traveled to 1954. As he was waiting for Adam with a gun to prevent him from killing Martha, Noah appeared instead with a letter from Martha saying that he must save Bartus, Magnus and Franziska. So, Jonas changes his plan and uses his time machine to save his childhood friends. They all landed in 1888, but the machine is no longer working. They try to build another one in Gustav Tannhäuser's factory. Martha from another world paid them a visit. Jonas didn't trust her, and before she traveled again she left a black matter that is necessary for the time machine. As time is running, Jonas is no longer interested in preventing the apocalypse, he just wants to destroy the time knot. Jonas is becoming Adam. In 1911 Hannah accidentally visit them with her daughter Celia. For Adam's plan to work, everything has to happen as it always had. For Jonas to become Adam he has to suffer, so he traveled and kill Martha. Adam is now managing his new headquarters in 2053. His followers travels through time to ensure that the course of events is preserved. He even managed to bring Martha from Eva's world to his side. Adam hold Martha from Eva's world. He knows that she is pregnant with the origin of the time traveler tree, and that is how everything is connected. He tied her up in the nuclear power station and directing the apocalypse power to her. He believes that he is destroying the time knot this way, and ending his existence, but his plan doesn't work. He's still alive. Old Claudia arrives and explain why his plan couldn't work and that Eva found a way to change the course of events, which means that there is another pregnant Martha. Claudia also explains that there is a third world, the original world, and things must be changed in this world where everything begins. By knowing that Adam travels to 2020 to Jonas, who sits beside Martha's dead body, and here is the third reality. He saves Jonas from the apocalypse and explain everything to him. They traveled to Eva's world where Jonas took Martha to the third world to change what happened and prevent all of this time-traveling thing, which also means that their worlds will disappear. In the end they succeed in their mission and Tannhaus never built the time machine. I hope you enjoyed the video. Kindly subscribe for the rest of characters' explanation.